What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Hardwood Show. We're here breaking down the little six-game slate, but at this point in the NBA season, no slate is really all that little with all the news. I have a lot of the news, honestly, already, but I'm sure we'll get some more before the slate locks. I got 30 extra minutes today, too, 7:30 Eastern start, not the standard 7 p.m. Eastern start. But solid weekend over here at Run Pure Sports again. Had a lot of big hits. We'll get to those. But as you see, we got a bonus guest on here, our boy JSU. Welcome, man. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Yeah, thanks for letting me jump on real quick with you guys for this first segment. I love the members never win segment. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, and it's been a fun one, too, because the hits apparently just keep on coming. We have a bunch this weekend. And the reason you're here, you got a little surprise for the people. But before we get to that, let's get our next two guys on here. We got Title, we got Big T. Big T, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm ready for another week. I mean, last week of the season, too. We've been kind of grinding through the last couple weeks of NBA. We've had some good success, too, but it's still more of a grind this last week or two. Can't wait for the playoffs next week. I'm excited to get through this last week. Maybe we can get a couple more big hits to finish this regular season out, too.
Yeah, I mean, the last week, it's there's no good way to sugarcoat it. It's going to be a disaster from a content standpoint, but we got it covered. And plus, I mean, look at this weekend. I mean, we had some solid NBA hits. So, I mean, the way our content is set up, I think is perfect for this day and age in the NBA where there's so much news and so much to break down and analyze. As I always say, JSU and Holden, they're on the Up to Lock show, and not only does JSU sit there and produce six-figure winners like on a daily basis during that show, he breaks down the news better than anyone in the industry as part of our premium product. So make sure you come and check us out. Title, how was your weekend, man?
Yeah, it was a good weekend in life. It wasn't a good weekend in DFS. Bank account went down.
Yeah, no, I played your MMA play, so I know.
Yeah, MMA was very Cowboy Cerrone definitely hurt.
Dude, he looked like he was dazed before the fight even started.
He was
tired. He looked so bad for the whole time I've watched MMA. He sucked, and I still fell into the trap.
He was talking.
Little interview was pumping it up, then you just got worked, stroked.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't even competitive. Very hurtful.
He's got to be done. Get him out of there. It's embarrassing, Dana.
Yeah. He's definitely. There's a lot of guys that got to be gone from performances we've seen for sure. But
that might have been one of the worst ones I've seen though. He just got. It was one of those ones you knew you were just done immediately.
No, that's no joke. The first punch he took, you could tell it was it was over. He was done. And he couldn't return anything, and it was like a jab. I'm like, this guy has no chance to win.
Right. He was drawing dead right away. That's the worst. And he was talking all that stuff about, I'm taking all my emotion out because it was a dude stepped in on short notice. Anyway, it's an NBA show, but yeah, it was a fun weekend. Not fun weekend for the pocket. Let's get it back in NBA. It's a grind for sure, but all of us are grinding it at the team. I mean, we play sports start to finish. We're all in the rhythm, so I'm excited to break it down.
I got unique schedule today because baseball locks in basically an hour, 6:35 Eastern. They got basketball at 7:30 Eastern. So it's I like those. The little staggered start time gives you time to focus on both sports. But the first segment here has not changed, but it changed today because there's a little bonus edition of the members never win segment that we're going to get to at the end. Had some really big hits this weekend in both sports. First one off the bat, our boy Lycan 888 took down $50K in the MLB Grand Slam, first place. I mean, $50,000 won by, it looks like 5 fantasy points there. So that's a nice $50,000 win. So congratulations to our boy Lycan 888. Huge win for him. And then over in the NBA streets, one of the more impressive finishes you're going to see here, the NBA 325K shoot around, $100,000 to first. Not only did we have an RPS member take down first, but we had an RPS member take down second as well. Our boy, let's see, I'm not sure how you're going to pronounce this one. Fran Cangolia, $100,000. He won first, but our boy Willie D, 1408, took down second for $25K. So it was a big weekend for the RPS family here. And then to top it all off, our boy JSU just finishes off the weekend with a solid finish here in baseball. Took down what was this, like $40,000 JSU, a little more?
Yeah, about that. And it felt good. I thought the lineup had a good chance going in. Now, obviously, you guys know I had a show, so starting that show off, and then found out the lineup just missed the top of the shipper on the show. But $40K, nothing to sneeze at, right? I'm happy. I'm excited. The lineup was good, and Tony knows what the lineup was because Tony, there was Texas bats in the lineup. You've been telling me not to play Texas literally all week. And then what happens? Joey Gallo double donged 2 days ago. And then today, the whole team gets there for me.
Yeah, Tony should have listened to the MLB show yesterday. I saw him in the chat. I mean, your boy right here. I mean, I like that Texas stack. I didn't play a ton of baseball yesterday. I had some things going on right around lock, but I like that Texas call and got you home in terms of dollars. I mean, first, so you finished second for $40K in that one. 100 was $100K for first.
Yeah. It was close. It was definitely close back and forth, and just missed the top. But yeah, $40K. Yeah. And I mean, we had so many, even in PGA, I saw some people in the chat. JSU's got a drink for the next Wednesday PGA Championship show. I cannot wait for that show, just by the way. But our boy Dean Nasty, he hit for 31K. That's just another screenshot in golf. That's golf. I'm seeing a few other screenshots in here. A guy putting $114 in play, won like 3K. There's a bunch of screenshots in PGA, 495 to win 3K. There's so many screenshots throughout, golf, NBA, MLB. We don't even hit on those, but I mean, those were huge. And I saw a bunch of people that were really pumped about the Wednesday show that we just magically were like, oh, we're going to do it at 10:30, right, Tony? And we had a bunch of guys and gals, watch us and stuff like that. And they appreciated the advice we gave. It was some good advice. Our boy,
we had a talk with the Rory poster back there. We said, should we pull it down off the wall? We said, no, we're going to regroup. We're going to put him in the core, and he shipped it for us.
The best part about the show by far, and I don't even know if it's been spoken about, is the fact that BigT started off the show by saying, I think I have to take the Rory poster off my wall. Like, as in, Rory's not even in play. I got to take this guy off my wall, to then staring at him, to then saying, nope, he's staying on the wall, to then put him in the core, making him a core play.
How the Big T shows work. It's full circle.
I wish I did tune in at the beginning of that show, but you guys know Hoop, he doesn't stay up super late. So I wish I would have tuned in a little bit longer because I obviously faded Rory because I have for the last 2 years. And it's worked out well this week.
I swear I haven't played him either. I've been there with you fading. When we started that show, I was planning on making fun of Rory. I was like, everyone's going to say to play Rory this week. We don't do that here. We're going to make fun of him. I was going to take his poster down. It was going to be funny. But we went full circle as we started drinking.
Man, wish I would have hung out a little longer because I actually somehow made money, which, I full faded Rory. I was too lazy to change my teams from the because obviously there's a huge advantage to that, the wave advantage. The guys that teed off, it would have been later on Thursday.
You always play the weather edge.
Oh, I always do too. I was laying in bed. I was dead tired. It was it was 12:30. I'm like, should I get out of bed and redo all my teams? I'm like, oh, fuck no. I said, I'm not doing it. And but
usually the weather doesn't come through for us either like that.
Oh, it came through hard this week. It was like a 2-stroke difference. The Bryson story is crazy. He was T90th when he finished and just flew back to Dallas, and halfway home he got I think a text or something from his agent dude, you're gonna make the cut. They couldn't turn the flight around, so he landed in Dallas, came back at 2:30 in the morning, teed up at 8, and had probably had the best weekend of anyone. What time do you think
he hit the workbench at? Right when he got back
as soon as he landed, right?
on the plane. On the plane.
And on the plane.
Daddy,
right, Tony?
You had to get a quick workout in?
That's what he said in the Instagram. He probably did, knowing him. I mean, he probably got a workout in, then workbench.
Yeah.
It's still so funny because he's got this new body. It doesn't look like he just looks fat to me still. Like, he doesn't look like he's like strong or anything. He's talking about working out and all this, but who knows? All right. But JSU, so tell the people, okay. So the one thing that we always try to do here at Run Pure Sports, anyone that has, a nice win, we try to give back to the community. It's something that we've established over the course of the last few months, and now the members are also doing it. The reason JSU is on here, not only to talk some sports with us here, but he has a special giveaway for the people, for the members. So tell the people what the criteria is here and what exactly you're giving away.
Yeah, so I wanted to do something kind of fun and give the people something fun to do. So this is going to be for members only. So if you're not a member, go to, Run Pure Sports, subscribe. RPS Heater 25, I think, is the promo code, 25% off your first monthly subscription. You guys are going to have 20 minutes. You're going to go in the live show chat in Discord. The live show chat is the chat we use for the premium show, the Up to Lock premium show, for all the questions. You're going to get in there. I want the funniest. You can make fun of anyone at RPS, staff, RPS coordinators, make fun of anyone you want, including me. You can make fun of me. I'm all for it. Funniest, in my opinion, the funniest one will win the ticket. I'm giving away a 777 ticket to the baseball, and we still got like 100 left. So I'm going to say 20 minutes, but get in there now, start posting them. I'm going to start reading them. I can't wait. This is going to be great. And like I said, don't be afraid to make fun of me. I love it. I'm going to laugh anyway. So you can make fun of me. You can make fun of Title, Tony, Hoop, Mangone, AP, whoever you want. Make some jokes. I want to laugh. Let's go, RPS. Live show chat. Get in the Discord. I'm going to be in there too. Let's get it. And also, I'll drop a core. Baseball locks in like an hour. So yeah, I want to get this done. Maybe 15 minutes is a better time frame. So get in there. Make JSU and the rest of the RPS crew laugh. Make us laugh. Let's go.
I'm not going to lie. There's some easy targets in there. I mean, there's a lot of ammunition for the people. I mean, we should definitely be able to get something good. Make sure, will you post the winning joke, I guess, on Twitter so we can see, so everyone can see?
Yeah, we'll post it after. But again, guys, make sure you go in the Discord to the live show chat in the Discord, the chat that we use for the premium Up to Lock show. All right. I'm not going to be reading anything in the baseball, the NBA, any of those normal sports chats. I'll be in the live show chat. So get in there at the coordinator you want to make fun of and get it going.
All right. There's the criteria. We appreciate it. We appreciate you giving back, and tell the people about the Up to Lock show today.
Yeah. So Up to Lock show, pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, me, Holden, and sometimes we get Big T on there. Big T's been jumping on there a lot. Kate Fallick jumps on there sometimes. So, we break down the slate, break down all the news as we get it, because you guys know NBA, we've been getting news all the way up to lock and through lock even. So we'll even stay on there. I mean, what, Tony, on Friday, did we stay on there for like an hour after lock? We were on there until like 8 that day, talking about baseball, NBA, just trying to get all the news we could to give everyone the right information. So, it's a great show. It's really good information for anyone who's trying to learn through the process and our process, because we give away little tidbits to our process as we go through. It's not just core plays, right? Core plays, we tell you why we like these plays and how we're attacking the rest of the slate and how news is going to change those plays based on which news we get. So it's a really important show, in my opinion, especially for NBA. So if you're not a member and you're thinking about becoming a member, that's just one thing you're going to get for becoming a member that I think is a very, very valuable show.
I mean, I don't know what more, if you're going to pay somebody for content, what more you could ask for. The guy's literally on the show talking you through as he's building lineups that have won over 6 figures on multiple occasions, literally talking to you while he's building these teams. It is, just such a good show, so informative. If you're not a member yet, RPS Heater 25, get you 25% off your first payment on a monthly package. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on, JSU. We appreciate it.
I'll be in the live show chat, guys. Let's go. Get in there.
Get in there and post those comments. We'll have the winner picked here pretty soon. So like I said, thank you. We appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and hop into this small NBA slate. But like I said, there's a lot of news and notes to cover. First game on the slate, Wizards, Hawks. Big total here, 237.5. Atlanta is favored by 8 in this game. The big news here is no Bradley Beal for the Wizards. That means Russell Westbrook, I mean, his ownership is going to be through the absolute roof. For some reason, DraftKings priced him $11,000. And honestly, I'd probably pay in this spot tonight, I'd probably pay $14,000, maybe even $15,000 for Russell Westbrook. I mean, his floor is massive. The ceiling is massive. And most importantly, like the most important thing about Russell Westbrook tonight is his legs are back. The legs are officially back. So for no other reason, that's one to play Russell Westbrook. Some other guys here. Bertans has really established a nice role here. I mean, really up and down, shaky season for him, but he's played 25, 27, 27, 35, and 34 minutes the last 2 games. Now, the results fantasy-wise haven't been all that great, but with Beal out, he's going to have to chuck it to that. I really like Raul Neto. Like with Neto, you're getting the minutes. He's actually showing some nice peak games this season as well in terms of fantasy points. Ish Smith is a guy that's kind of projecting well. I'm actually not super high on Ish. I mean, I get it. He's clearly in play, but it just seems like in these spots this season, they still really don't push the minutes with him. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he still just plays like 22, 23 minutes, but he's clearly in play at 3-3. On the Hawks side, they're a tough team DFS wise now. I mean, they're almost back to full strength. The one spot though that I have a lot of interest is Trae Young on FanDuel. He's only 8.4K. That's a very, very attractive price tag for him. So let's go to you first, Big T. Talk to me here about the Wizards Hawks.
Yeah, and the important thing all week's going to be the standings, which you need to see who's got something to play for, what their motivation is. And both of these teams should want to win this game. I mean, just looking at the standings, Atlanta's tied for 5th right now, but they're only two up on that 7 seed. The 7 seed is where you don't want to be. Like you definitely don't want to be the 7 seed because that's where the play-in starts. So they have to win a couple of games this week to probably avoid that. Yeah, and you got to think that's decent motivation. Washington without Beal too. I mean, there is definitely a path where Atlanta could blow this team out and really need this W too. So I don't know. There definitely is going to be huge ownership. I wish I knew what the Westbrook ownership was, because if it got high enough, I could probably talk myself into figuring something else out just in case it blows out. But he's going to crush just like he has every single freaking game. I mean, you look at him, 87, 81. I mean, in the last 4 games, he's got – for the last 5 games, his worst game 64. He's got a 74 and 3 in the 80s. Now Beal's gone too. I seen it was like minus 400 or something that he's going to triple double tonight. That's just totally outrageous. The thing is, like, literally the only way he doesn't get there is a blowout or some random foul injury type thing.
It almost has to be like a massive blowout too, because he's going to play probably 20 minutes in the first half. He'll play all of the third quarter regardless. So he's going to play, like, his floor for minutes is probably like 32 minutes, even in a blowout.
Yeah, so, and Washington needs to win too, so it's not like they're going to
give up.
I mean, it's going to be very hard for him not to crush. The thing is, all year we just keep playing him, and he keeps getting there. And even though he's 60, 70%, that's still 30% of the people are dead. So, yeah, you have to like that. Trae Young for Atlanta, you can definitely go there. He hasn't quite shown the upside. Definitely don't need to play him, but his price is okay, especially on FanDuel. The other pieces for Washington are where it gets interesting now with Beal out. In the past, Rui has stepped up a ton at this price point, 4,900. Continues to play big minutes too. You have to have some interest. Bertans has started to look a little bit better. You look at his numbers, he hasn't shown it, but I think he's got upside too at that price. Even guys like Ish hasn't quite shown a ceiling, but I think these guards could get more run, especially against a team like Atlanta. I don't know. I think we should want to go somewhere here, though, for a couple pieces.
Yeah, tough situation to avoid. And the most important part, I think, is the most important point is the first one that you brought up. These are two teams that want to win this game. And, last week of the NBA season, that's super important. So I definitely think you want some exposure here, obviously more so on the Wizards side. Trae Young, like I said, stands out as a play on FanDuel at 8.4K. A title, anything to add here?
Yeah, so for Westbrook, I mean, on DraftKings, his ownership is probably going to be about 50% in tournaments, I think, or like right around there. The price is just dumb. I'm not going to make a case to fade. The game theory case, there's always there. I mean, 50% in tournaments is nuts, but 11K is just way too cheap. Even on FanDuel, where he's 12.4, I like that price tag. And there's enough value on this slate where you can get him. So I'm going to play him. He's just been an absolute monster. The secondary pieces are a lot more interesting, and it's hard not to like him without Beal. It's such a big piece. Ish Smith, only 3.3K. Yeah, I don't think he's going to play like 26, 27 minutes hoop. Like you said, they have limited him down to the low 20s, but even low 20s at 3.3K, he's a good point per minute producer. Bertans 3.7. I like that price tag a lot. Neto will probably get the start. He's point guard and shooting guard eligible, 4.5K. I probably wouldn't play Neto and Smith in the same lineup in tournaments. You could get away with it, I think, but it's negatively correlated. They won't share the court too much. And then Rui Hachimura, 4.9K. He's power forward and center eligible. He came off injury. His minutes have been creeping up, played 34 last game. 4.9K, 34 minutes. I would take that for sure without Beal. So I think he goes overlooked too in this spot. And I like a lot of Rui in tournaments. As far as Atlanta, Trae Young on FanDuel, like you said, but other than that, I don't have that much interest.
Yeah, I really like Rui. Maybe that him coming off that injury not too long ago will keep his ownership down a little bit, but he was definitely the guy that was establishing himself as like the third guy. We talked about it all season. It's Westbrook, it's Beal, and you really couldn't trust anyone else. Before that injury, he was kind of turning into that third guy that, we were kind of getting close to trusting a little bit. Then he got hurt. But the fact that he played 35 minutes last game, I really like him tonight too. So there's a lot of good plays in this game. Didn't mention it yet. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe. It helps us to continue to bring you guys these shows on a regular basis. Very simple. Like, subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game, we have the Pacers. We have the Cavs, 228.5 total. Pacers favored by 9. And if you remember at Run Pure Sports, you would have had an opportunity to get this game at Pacers minus 2.5. Someone on our bet side posted the play. I think it was last night when these lines came out, and he also put a message in Discord. I was sleeping and unfortunately missed it. By the time your boy Hoop saw it, it was like 6.5. So I didn't have the opportunity to get on, but our boy HTP had this at 2.5 as soon as it opened. I have no clue. Like, why would this, Tony, you're a Vegas guy. You follow this stuff. Why the hell would the Pacers open up at minus 2.5 against the Cavs here?
Yeah, I can't answer for that because Indiana's another team that needs to win. They're literally in the 10 spot, only what? 2.5, 3 back of the. They're probably going to get in. It's probably safe, no doubt about it. But they still need to win. Especially games like this. This is how they can maybe even move up. If Washington loses tonight, they move up one spot. Then they're only. They need to win. They're not going to lose to Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't want to win. On top of it, I can't speak for why. Sometimes they just give you free money, and you just gotta take it.
That was literally free money. But this game obviously has a lot of injury news. On the Pacers side, we're still waiting. It's Lamb, Brogdon, both questionable. Obviously, the Brogdon news is pretty big. Sabonis is now priced fully. 10-6, but man, he's been crushing over 74 fantasy points in 3 out of his last 5 games. But like I said, the price is full at 10-6, and now this game is more likely to blow out now than it was earlier with all these Cavs guys out. But 10-6 for Sabonis. I don't think I can go there if Brogdon is in. Kind of need that news. 7:30 Eastern start. But on the Cavs side, they ruled out a bunch of people. Let's see. No Hartenstein, no Stevens, no Garland, no Chetty Osman, and then no Kevin Love. So yeah, like Big T said, they're not interested in winning ball games, kind of punting this one away. Provides a lot of value though for DFS purposes. I think Sexton is a guy you can potentially look to spend on. Now you don't have to, but he's a guy I think if you landed on him, I'd be fine with. The value guys though, Dean Wade, he'll end up being a pretty popular play, 3.4K. And he's established a role here, upper 20s, low 30s in terms of minutes. Production hasn't been all that great, but with all these guys out, it's going to be a bigger opportunity for him. Broderick Thomas, Dotson, and I'm going to slaughter this name, but Mafandu Cavengale, something like that. He's 3K as well. So we're going to have like 3 or 4 guys here, 3.4K or below that are in play. It's going to make it very easy to build teams tonight if you play a couple of these guys. So let's toss it to you, Title Town. Talk to me here about this Pacers-Cavs game.
Yeah, the Cavs are going to be the chalkiest team on the slate. I mean, with their whole roster out, like you pretty much mentioned, Garland's out, Love, Osman, Larry Nance, Torian Prince, Isaiah Hartenstein, Dellavedova. Like, that's half the roster that they started the year with. Big pieces on it. The prices are just so cheap. Dean Wade, 3.4K, power forward, center eligible. Going to be really hard not to play him. He'll be one of the chalkiest players on the slate too. And then we have the guys to spend up for, like the Russell Westbrooks on this slate. There's Sabonis. There's a couple other ones where, I mean, you want value to get up to these guys. So Dean Wade's a very strong play. Dotson's a very strong play at min price. Yeah, that Cabin Jelly guy, he's min price at 3K, played 24 minutes yesterday. There's Jarrett Allen and Sexton I feel really good about with their price tags. They're going to play so many minutes. I'm going to have at least 3 of these Cavs guys, and in cash games, you can play as much as 4 or 5, to be honest, with their prices if it fits. Dean Wade's for sure the strongest. Sexton and Jarrett Allen I feel really good with. Then I want to wait for the starters. If it's Dotson, if it's Broderick Thomas, if it's this Cabin Jelly guy, and then I'll mainly go there. That's where the ownership's going to go, the starters. If you want to get different in tournaments, I think you target a bench guy, but so much exposure to this Cavs team. And then for the Pacers, the only guy I would have interest in really is Sabonis. And that's only if you think this game's going to stay close and you're loading up on the Cavs side. That's your run back, because no one on the Cavs is going to stop them if this game's close. It's just whether or not it is.
Yeah, and I think I'd still feel way more comfortable playing him if Brogdon is ruled out. And we'll get the news because, like I said, this is the first game on the slate, 7:30 Eastern. Big T, anything to add here to this Pacers-Cavs conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I always do good at the end of the seasons, into the playoffs, because I think game theory is more prevalent. And this is where I kind of differ from people. I can't imagine playing Sexton or Jarrett Allen when they got this bad of a roster. Everyone says they're guaranteed minutes, which during the middle of the season, I would agree with. I don't agree with it this last week of the year where they might want to see some of these other guys just to throw them in there, blowout. Even like Varejao. I think they'll give him some run just for respect from his past in the program. Where, I mean, he's not going to play 30 minutes. I'm not saying that, but I think he could get a little bit of a boost at 3K. I like all these cheap guys, is basically what I'm saying. I want to play the Covendale and then the Varejao for the angle I said. Even like this Jeremiah Martin, he's 3K. I mean, you just don't know. Maybe they want to get him a little run. Dean Wade, absolutely Dean Wade. I want to play him. Basically, any of the cheap guys. Okoro's even a little too expensive for me. I want.
Where's K Falix boy at? Is he still hurt?
I think so.
I don't know where he's at.
That'd be a perfect. I mean, this would be a perfect opportunity, like to Windler, right? Windler,
yeah, Mr. Windler.
Yeah, Falix, if you're listening, where's your boy? Like, you got to get him healthy. I mean,
this is his time this week. Where's he at?
This is his time to shine. Damn,
we would be right in there with him finally, getting him some run.
Yeah,
I got a thing too that I need. I've been railing against these projection people all year, and I think it's why we've had a bunch of success in tournaments. So Doug freaking McDermott, the projections, this dude always is projected for like 25 fantasy points. He pops always. He always ends up owned in tournaments because everyone clicks the damn projections.
Yeah.
He never gets there, ever. And he's always over. Same thing we always talk about. Projected for like 24, 25 tonight. 15, 16, 16, 14 his last 4 games. Like, he just doesn't get it done. I don't understand the projection.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I know you're right because I've played his ass a shit ton this year and it sucks.
Yeah, I keep playing him too because I just look at this damn projection and I'm like, man, they got bodies out. This guy's out and this guy's out and this guy's out. The problem is he just sucks. He's not good, so it doesn't matter who's out.
Yep, another reason Big T hates white athletes. So it's no surprise there that he does not like Doug McDermott.
Just look at his stupid picture. Like his picture even looks stupid. Like he's just a bad trooper.
Yeah, that is a bad pick. You're right.
He looks like he should be like your gym teacher or something, not the dude you're rostering in the NBA.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got the Pelicans, we got the Grizzlies, 229.5 total. Memphis favored by 9.5. The injuries here, all those guys are still out for the Pelicans. Josh Hart, Ingram's out, Zion's out, Steven Adams is doubtful. Alexander Walker is now probable, so he's going to play. This is a side that you're probably going to have to look to a little bit. Assuming Steven Adams is out, he's listed as doubtful. They obviously running low on bodies. Eric Bledsoe has kind of risen from the dead. Not a favorite of the DFS community because, to be quite frank, he sucked all season long, but playing a lot of minutes, played 42 games ago, played 33 yesterday, 52 fantasy points, 34 fantasy points. Coming back to life when it really doesn't matter because this team, they're technically still in this. Actually, when you look at the standings, they technically have a chance to sneak into that last spot, but they're obviously going to have to win out. So I do feel good about these guys playing minutes. James Johnson, I think, is a solid play. Jackson Hayes has been just crushing last two games, 24 minutes and 26 minutes, 40 fantasy points in both those games. He's 4.5K on DK. I think he's a strong play. On the Grizzlies side, for me, the Grizzlies is very simple. Like all these guys are much better plays on FanDuel opposed to DraftKings. On DraftKings, they're all appropriately priced. Morant, Valanciunas, both over 8K. If you go over to FanDuel, I think Morant's in play. Dylan Brooks is in play. Jaren Jackson's in play. Valanciunas is in play. On DK, I don't see myself going to any of these guys. Let's go to you first, Title. Talk to me about this Pelicans-Grizzlies game.
Yeah, Memphis side, you couldn't have said it any better on DraftKings. I have no interest in them. If you do anything, do a one-off on someone you think who has ceiling like Ja or something, but he hasn't flashed it as much as we've hoped this year. On FanDuel, though, 7.2K for Ja, 5.9K for Slow-Mo. Valanciunas, 8K, center's not that great today. There's some piece, Jaren Jackson, 5.5K. There's some Memphis pieces that I'm interested in. None of them are like locks. I'm just plugging and playing, but they are solid prices over there. As far as this Pelicans team, man, Stan Van Gundy, I know you've been talking about it for a little while, but this guy is he's one of the worst coaches there can be in sports. Hugh Jackson, Mike McCarthy, and then throw in Stan Van Gundy's name. I mean, yesterday going in, there's like 10 minutes left in the third quarter or something, or fourth quarter. All their guys, he played 10 guys. They pretty much all played 24 minutes. Like it was like rec basketball when parents are yelling at them that their kid's not playing. Awandu had to get ejected for them to put James Johnson back in. Hernan Gomez was absolutely crushing early. Then Jackson Hayes, who I love in this spot. I love Jackson Hayes at 4.5K, but he played the whole fourth quarter. Willie Hernan Gomez, who was smashing. JSU made a bet. He got unlucky a little bit there, but he didn't come back and see the court because, Hayes was playing well, but Van Gundy's just going to do Van Gundy things. James Johnson and Hayes are the only ones I really have interest in DraftKings, 4.6K, 4.5K. I've just learned my lesson with Van Gundy. I don't know what the minutes are going to be. I'm not risking it this late in the season. What are they playing for? So, whoever he gives the minutes to probably will smash. I don't know who that's going to be.
Yeah, and they still have bodies. So he's going to most likely use them all. I agree with you. The ones I have the most interest in are Hayes and James Johnson. Big T, thoughts here at Pelicans Grizzlies?
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. You guys brought up the points. There's so many dudes. You certainly wish you knew who was going to catch that run and maybe get a little boost because for sure these guys could crush in this matchup. It's a good spot. I always am drawn to Big Willie. If this dude gets run, he's going to get 50 fantasy points. But you just look, him and Jackson Hayes both are going to play the same thing, like 20 to 25 minutes, right in that range. They'll probably play all the center minutes, obviously, but that means that the other one's not going to. I mean, I don't really see a scenario where one gets 34 minutes, the other gets 14 or something. Like, it's just not going to happen. So you're just capped where they'll both probably get there. I mean, just on DK, like Jackson Hayes is 45, Willie is 57. I think you see them both, like Willie in the 30s, Jackson in the high 20s. But I don't know if they have that upside that I'm looking for, especially this time of year where news is going to hit and guys are going to smash their price points. Like, this is not – we made the joke all year, the Crane 37X. You're going to need it this week. There's going to be 3K guys that go off, and you got Westbrook and Sabonis and these guys on the slate that even if they have a bad game, you're still going to get massive, massive numbers. So these 3K guys are where it's at. It's really hard for me to pay 57 for Willie. I mean, he's probably going to crush, but I just can't do it. I don't know. I mean, you could play Lonzo and these guys. I'm definitely not playing freaking Bledsoe. Like Hoop said, he's not a fan of the show. He went off. He might go off again, but if Bledsoe beats me, I'm just fine living with myself. Always tomorrow, as we say in the chat. I'm going to fade this team more than likely. And the Memphis side, I just haven't been a fan of Memphis all year. I mean, they play so many dudes. Another team where if you guaranteed me Jaren Jackson was going to play 30 minutes somehow, he would smash, like totally smash. But do you really want to play a guy on a slate where you need upside when he's going to play 25 minutes? Maybe he still crushes. He could. But I'm going to take the guys that I know for sure are going to play the minutes. And I'll just take my chances. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I'm going to go for the upside, though.
Yeah, I will say, like I mentioned when we talked about it, if you're playing on FanDuel, give these guys a better look on FanDuel opposed to DraftKings. They're all significantly cheaper. Morant is 8.3 on DK, 7.2 on FanDuel. Dylan Brooks, 5.7 on DK, 5K on FanDuel. Jaren Jackson, 6K, DK, 5.5 on FanDuel. Valanciunas was 8.2. Okay, he's about the same. So Valanciunas is pretty similar. But those other three guys, big price breaks on FanDuel versus DraftKings. So, all right, let's keep it moving here. We 3 more games. I just want to remind you guys we have that partnership going with SuperDraft. If you head on over to superdraft.com, use that promo code RUNPEER, you get up to a $100 match on your deposit. We have a section in the core plays part of our website devoted to Super Draft picks. So head on over to Super Draft. That promo code is RUNPEER for a deposit match up to $100. Next game is one that, man, I just have no read on this at all. So hopefully you guys have a better one than I do. The Bucks, the Spurs, 233.5 total. Milwaukee's favored by 7 in this game. The injury information here, not a ton really. So like, let's see, Trey Lyles still, there's like no news here. So the Bucks are basically back to like full strength playing the Spurs team. Spurs have been just awful lately. However, when we did the bet show earlier, did notice their schedule lately has been very brutal. They had a couple games against Utah. They caught Portland. Portland was hot. Tough stretch of games. It doesn't get much easier here facing off of the Bucks. So for DFS purposes, I think the only guy really on the Bucks that you could make a case for is Giannis. But we have Westbrook where we have to play him. So if you're going 2 studs, maybe take a look at Giannis. On the Spurs side, I see some of these guys popping in like projections and whatnot. If you listen to the show all season, you know our approach. We really have not been playing Spurs guys. Last week of the season, I don't know why we'd go ahead and reverse course on that. I'm going to most likely stick to it, not be on these guys. The ones that are showing up, Lonnie Walker at 4.2K, Kelton Johnson, 4.4K. These guys are kind of popping a little bit. I just don't think I want to change my stance on these Spurs guys last week this season. Big T, talk to me about this one. I have a feeling this is a game that you don't have much interest in.
Yep, completely agree. I haven't played the Spurs all season. There is literally no way that I'm going to start now in the last week where we know less about the Spurs probably this week than almost any team. You don't know what they want. I mean, New Orleans is already sitting guys. They're the team behind the Spurs. I don't think anyone really wants that 10 spot, including the Spurs. Why would the Spurs want to get in here? I mean, look at their roster.
like look at the guys they'd roll out for a playoff run. They have literally
no. They're not making a run. So like I guarantee they don't want to get in. But look at the teams behind them.
Yeah,
no one really wants that last spot. It's like they can't lose enough to even get in there. I mean, they're 3 games below. Back to the original point, though. I mean, I'm not playing Spurs. If the Spurs beat me, they beat me. I don't like it. What I'm going to do with Milwaukee, I'm going to lower Giannis because he's only going to play 28 minutes. He's not going to play into the 30s with 1 week left. I don't see any way he does that. But the reason I've touted all year using the optimizer, even if you play one team, is I'm going to lower him to like 49 to 50 fantasy points, where he'll be projected higher than that with any projection you use, 55, 57, 56. I'm going to lower him to like 49 or 50 because of the minutes upside. But like I just said in the previous point, there's a lot of 3K guys tonight. Maybe you play him with Westbrook. Some of these 3K guys, maybe 50 is enough from Giannis. You don't need anything crazy with these cheapies. So we'll just see if he hits. If he hits at 49 or 50 fantasy points and he still makes my teams, maybe I play Giannis. But if I play Giannis, I play him understanding that he doesn't have his normal ceiling tonight, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to go for 80. I don't think he's going to get 70. But I do think that he gets you a really nice floor where if 50 is enough, I think he's a great play. You just got to understand going in what the play is about.
Well, luckily for us, Big T, we have the Bucks insider here with us, Mr. Titletown. I mean, he knows this team inside and out, and he's going to be able to give us all the answers. I mean, what are your thoughts here, Title?
I mean, like you said, Giannis is the only one that you could play. There's no need to play anyone else. But I agree with Big T. I mean, you're not going to see Giannis getting run out 35 plus minutes. I mean, if it's a blowout, he's for sure not gonna. Even if it's closer, I mean, they don't really have what's gonna get up to the 2 seed for them. They're still gonna get the Nets in the conference. It looks like they can't make a run to 1. They're not gonna fall to 4. I just don't think. I agree with Big T. You take your raw points, maybe. I mean, you can get the double spend up builds. Westbrook. We talked about all the. Yeah. Well, I mean, we have all that Cleveland value. We have all that stuff. Yeah. So it maybe is just the raw points. The 55 that he gets you might be what you want, like Big T's saying. So he's definitely not a
slates were even less. Like seriously, there's a scenario this late in the year. Giannis gets like 43 and he's on the winner just because of how the salaries line up.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned all those Cleveland guys. They have no bodies. Someone's gonna have to do something for the cheap. So
and this is the slate where that makes sense. We have 4 or 5 guys. 4 or 5 spends. You got Westbrook, you got Giannis, you have Sabonis, you have Lillard, you have Steph Curry, you have all these guys up here, and you have all these guys way down here. There's not much in the middle when you start looking at the slate. I mean, there's really not any middling plays that you really want to play, but continue on, Title.
Yeah, so Giannis is just 10-8. I'm fine. I have the money for him. I'm just going to take my raw points. Because if you're looking, it's pretty much, I think, like him, Sabonis, Steph, if I had to rank them. I mean, Sabonis has the most blowout risk, but Giannis is already pretty much you're assuming blowout because he's getting the 30. I like Giannis point per dollar more, but if they both play 30 minutes, I'm going to take Giannis.
And
the Brogdon news is also
way more upside for sure. Like, definitely.
If Brogdon's out, I like Sabonis for you. The upside in tournaments for sure. It's Sabonis. But yeah, that's how I view Giannis. Pretty much same as you guys. He's the only buck I would play. The Spurs side, I agree too. I mean, one of these Spurs is probably going to get there. Lonnie or Keldon, Patty Mills, Jakob Poeltl. But you're just playing Russian roulette with all of them. I mean, you probably pick the wrong guy who gets you 12, and then you're upset when we have value. Like I said, it sounded like in chat, I'm higher on Cleveland value than some people watching, but you just know what you're going to, you're going to get the minutes with a very small rotation. Whereas these Spurs, you never know what Pop's going to do. They have a lot of bodies. So Keldon Johnson's my favorite on FanDuel because of the position, but I'm not going to have very many Spurs. Pretty easy stay away game. If you do anything, one off a Spur if you're in rules, because one of them probably will get there.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, overall, I see like DeRozan in some spot. I just can't imagine like clicking DeMar DeRozan's name. Like at this point in the season with the Spurs, who knows their motivation? Tough spot. Like, I don't know. This team, just looking at this roster makes me want to throw up. So it's just better for me to be
I laugh too. Like K Falcon and these guys in the chat. Oh, the Spurs believe in themselves. They don't freaking believe in themselves. No. Stop. Athletes at the highest level. You think every team thinks they're going to win the title? Hell no, they don't. They know the Spurs know they're not winning no title. I don't care what they believe in. They have a lot to play for, Brandon Davis. What? What do they have to play for?
Yeah, this is. I'm definitely.
Orleans is clearly losing on purpose. That's the team behind them. Like, what are they playing for? I don't understand.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, they're not getting pushed at all, and like I don't think the Spurs want to get in, but they just don't have a chance. They don't have a choice. Like they've lost like 8 out of their last 9 games or whatever it is, and they're still in this spot. They're still in this playoff spot. I don't think they have much interest in getting in. I mean, it's who knows, but whatever for DFS really purposes.
Popovich is one of the smartest dudes in basketball wise. He freaking knows that they're not going to win it. Yeah, they could beat Memphis. Who knows? Maybe they even upset like Golden State or something in the play-in. That could happen. But then what? Oh, you're going to go play Utah? Like, you're not beating Utah. Are you freaking kidding me?
No chance. Yeah, someone in the chat, our boy, the J9986, over 600 watching and not even 200 likes. Smash that like button. Hey, appreciate that, the J. And you know what? For that, send us an email, info@RunPureSports. We're going to get you a piece of gear. So the J9986, send us an email, info@RunPureSports. We're going to get you a piece of gear for pointing out the lack of likes on the show, which is, as our boy JT Hayes always says, very, very hurtful. Let's continue on. Jazz, Warriors, 225.5 total. Utah favored by 2 in this game. Utah side, I mean, and another team, you look at this roster and you kind of want to puke with Mitchell out and Conley out. But Joe Ingles has a nice price tag basically on both sides, 6.3 on DK, 6.2 on FanDuel. I have a feeling this is not a play that Big T is going to like, but this is a play that me and Title will like. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to handle the ball. Safe bet to get you low 30s in terms of fantasy points. Good enough to get the job done for cash games. I think he's a solid target there for tournaments. Like I said, I don't think our boy Big T is going to be on him all that much. Bogdanovic had that big game last week. He might be a little bit interesting. I mean, Bogdanovic for 66.5 fantasy points. What a world. That is insane. On the Warrior side, Steph Curry, I think you can throw into that group of guys that Big T just kind of talked about. Maybe go ahead, lower the projection a little bit, and just see how many teams he hits, because you're going to be able to play 2 studs. Talked about Russ. Russ is basically like a free square at 11K. Terrible price tag on him. So in double stud lineups, I think Steph is a guy to consider. But really the only 2 in this game that I have a lot of interest in would be Ingles and Steph. Not too much else for me. Big T, thoughts here?
Yeah, I love Steph tonight because Golden State's one of the teams that I definitely think wants to win, because they're on that key line between 8 and 9 where you want to be in the 7-8 game, obviously, because you only need to win 1 game to get back in, and then you'll play Phoenix instead of Utah. I think that's right, just eyeballing it. Yeah, they'll play Phoenix instead of Utah, which is obviously, I think, a much better matchup. I mean, Phoenix has a couple good guards, but Utah has a much deeper and just better playoff-built team. So I think it's huge to get that 8 seed, even though you'll have to play the Lakers, or if somehow they get up, Portland or Dallas. Tough, but you only got to win 1 rather than go down there. You got to beat a bad team and then come back and win another one just to play Utah. So I think Golden State wins this game tonight, and Utah doesn't care. You want to talk about teams that don't care for sure? Utah and Phoenix shouldn't care that much this week.
They cared against your Nuggets last week. Cost me a freaking new car.
That was I wouldn't have played Denver there.
I'm with you though, because on the bet show that I did earlier with spread, I picked the Warriors. I love the Warriors in this spot. Just love them.
They need it way more, and they kind of match up decent with Utah with the current rosters that are out there. They match up good enough because Steph is obviously just totally locked in right now. And I like Golden State with you. So we're in agreement there. And Steph is I mean, you look at his numbers. I definitely, the only issue that makes him harder to play than like guys like Sabonis and Giannis is just the position. I mean, you already got Westbrook at point guard. Obviously, Steph is point guard as well. So FanDuel and stuff, yeah, you can do it. There's some other good guard plays too. Makes it slightly harder, but I do think his floor and ceiling are better than those forwards. It's just roster construction, which goes back to my original point. I know I say it all the time, but even if you play one team, learn how to use an optimizer, play with the numbers. If Steph gets, there's tons of scenarios where if Steph gets 60, Sabonis gets 50, that Sabonis still makes your team better. A lot of people don't think of it like that, but just with roster construction, it all depends on where you're at. 50 from the forward might mean more than 60 from one of the guards. So I do love Steph, though. I think he's a great play. Draymond, same thing. These guys, no one's going to play Draymond. He's shown us consistency, upside. They want to get the win. I think Draymond's one of the sneakier plays on the slate all the way around because he's shown us triple-double upside. Utah side, man, I mean, is Jordan Clarkson seriously 7,700 on DK? Woo!
Yeah, that is correct.
I mean, can you imagine clicking that button? Like, oh
No,
my
sir.
God, what are people? Is anyone going to click that button?
Probably not.
Tough tag, man. That is a very tough price tag.
I mean, I would probably play him at like 57 for sure, but even in the 6Ks, I would at least think about it. Like, I wouldn't, it wouldn't be a lock button for me in the 6Ks, but 7,700. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to play Utah. Like I said, all this week, Utah and Phoenix, I won't be playing Utah and Phoenix this week because I don't see why they would want to win. I know everyone in the chat gets mad when I say that. Every team wants to win. But
it just gives teams more outs to stop giving a shit during a game. Okay, it just gives them more reasons to stop giving a shit. If a couple things don't go their way, why are they gonna press it? Okay, and we're not saying they're gonna come out and at opening tip just say, you know what, F this, we're not trying. Yes, they're gonna come out and try, but it gives them more reasons as the game goes on to say, you know what, we're done with this. We got our playoff spot. We'll move on to next week and forget about this one random game.
The outs is a great point that Hoop makes too. Like, just a great point because you got to pay attention to stuff like that. Well, what if all of a sudden his hamstring just barely tightens up? If it's any other game they have to win, he's going to keep playing. But when you don't have to win, coach, hammy hurts a little bit. You're out. You're done for the rest of the game without a doubt. So,
yeah.
I mean, Roman Daniels just keeps talking shit in the chat. Keep talking, Roman Daniels. We're going to ship tonight because you're bringing the bad mojo. Play Rui at forward. We understand roster construction, Roman Daniels. We've done this a little bit of time. We understand. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then you're a donkey.
Yeah, he's coming after Hoop, too. Stop with Jingles, Hoop.
He's the negative guy just trying to, get in there and spew negativity. You're not bringing us down, Roman Daniels. We bring good mojo.
I gotta have the driest workbench in this chat. I will guarantee you right now, Roman Daniels has a dry ass workbench. Get that shit out of here. Title. You already talked about this one or no?
No, right. I didn't. But so I think Steph's my favorite in tournaments. Going between Sabonis, Giannis, and Steph. Yeah, I think he has the most upside. Sabonis probably could if Brogdon's out. But like Big T said, with roster construction, you can interrupt me if something was.
Our boy Bobby Gomes comes in and says Roman needs a wedgie. The term wedgie gets me every time.
Bobby. But yeah. So I mean, with roster construction, like Big T said, point guard is really loaded. I think that'll keep Steph's ownership down a little more too, from maybe the Giannis. I mean, you look at Giannis' price, people usually just like to play Giannis more. So I like Steph on the Warriors. He's the only one I really have interest in for that team, though. And for Utah, guys like Jingles and Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert, they're all better plays on FanDuel, where you have to play two of each position except center. Center's not very good today. But on DraftKings with dual position eligibility and stuff, I don't think I'm going to get to this Utah team.
You want to know who's got a super dry bench? Your boy Jingles. He's got a very dry bench. I just clicked his box scores. Woo! He's the fourth play of the day. You got to get him in there later.
He might. I will say, though, I don't think I bet he has an active bench. I'd put my money on it. Ingles getting it in.
I think he's got an active bench too. He might invite both directions into the bench, but it's definitely active.
He looks like he's like 50. He just looks like a guy at the YMCA pickup ball. You never assume would be good at basketball. He goes out there and just crushes. Like
he talks trash too, which I love.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He might be the biggest trash talker in the freaking league.
Yeah, he gets it going for sure. Fun to watch. All right, we got one more game. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's see where we're at. Okay, you guys did a better job. So keep hitting the like. continue to hit the subscribe. Last game here on this slate, we have the Rockets. We have the Trailblazers, 238.5 total. Portland favored by 14.5 in this game. And the mystery of the Rockets roster will continue tonight. I have a bunch of guys. Christian Wood listed as questionable. Kelly Olynyk also listed as questionable. Porter is going to be out. DJ Wilson out. Sterling Brown out. Avery Bradley out. Eric Gordon also out. Carmelo Anthony out on the Portland side. So with Houston, obviously we have a bunch of guys here that we can consider. Daquan Jeffries is one that stands out, starting to play. Played 40 minutes, 32, 37. Finally had the big game last time out against Utah, 38 fantasy points. Jayshawn Tate, I think, is a guy we can consider. Christian Wood. What's the deal with Christian Wood? No, so he hasn't played. So kind of need that news. 10 p.m. Eastern game, though, a little bit tough. Kelly Olynyk has just been crushing. The price is up, 8.1K. He's been over 40. He got a 48 spot, a 63 spot, and a 54 spot last 3 games, just smashing. Anthony Lamb, a lot of different ways you can go on the Houston side. Portland, it's going to be a situation all week in these Houston games. Are you going to risk these games staying close? How much are they going to push these guys if it does turn into a blowout? Makes the Portland side pretty risky, but I think you can throw Lillard into that mix of the studs. Been pretty consistent fantasy-wise. Had 6 games. Looks like 5 out of his last 6 have been over like 55 fantasy points. So he's kind of rounding into playoff Dame form. Interesting game here. Might need a little bit more news on the Houston side. Title, what do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, with it being a 10 Eastern game, it's an hour and a half before 2 games lock at 10. The next one, the Bucks at 8:30 Eastern. I doubt we get this news. And I mean, we talked about other games that we like, or I like earlier. We have Westbrook earlier, Cleveland Cavs earlier, some other spots where I'm not going to wait for this news and backload. There's too much uncertainty where I don't need it on a slate like this. If we get the news before, maybe if Wood's out and stuff, maybe some of these guys become better plays, Olynyk and something, but I'm not going to do it unless we get it. As far as the Portland side, I mean, it's just such a big spread at like 14 where I can't play Lillard over someone like Steph or even a Sabonis. A Sabonis, I think, is fine, or maybe play him over Sabonis if Brogdon is in, but I like Steph more at the position. So I don't think I'd go there. I'd rather someone like Anthony Simons is 3.4K. If you play the blowout risk, he's going to be 5% owned with all the other Cavs value and other stuff where people know he played 27 minutes last game, didn't shoot the ball too great, but he's point guard and shooting guard eligible too. These are one of the spots where you get different with one of the value people, a pivot, low own, and he can absolutely go off. We know he has a ceiling. So he's my favorite on DraftKings if I'm going to go low own. FanDuel, Norman Powell's 5.6K at small forward. That's a pretty good price for him. Those are my interests. Not going to have much of this game because of some uncertainty on Houston, but Anthony Simons, watch out for him. He'll be really low owned.
Yeah, I don't hate that call. Carmelo out as well, so a nice little boost for him. Big T, thoughts here, Rockets, Trailblazers.
Yeah, I mean, Portland's going to smash this team. I'm actually surprised the spread's only 14. Like I said, I've always had a bunch of success the last couple weeks of the season, always, because I don't think they can set the line big enough, honestly. Like, Portland, what can they set it at? It's not like they can just make them like a 20-point favorite or something. So they just lay it out there, and they're like, if people bet Portland and they bet it, Houston's got nobody. Wait till Wood and Olynyk sit somehow. I mean, they're going to pound this team. So, yeah, it's 14, but they can win by 40. Like, they're just going to kill them. And there's no way I'm going to play the good Portland guys. I agree with Title, though. Cheap guys, similar to whatever game I was talking about at the beginning where I don't want to play the expensive guys.
Cleveland.
Yeah, like the Cleveland. I'd rather just play the cheap guys where if the game somehow stays close, Simons could still play 27 like Title said he played in the last game. But who knows? Maybe it totally blows out and he catches that whole fourth quarter run or something. Brogdon's officially out too, which is nice getting that news. But yeah, I mean, 3,400 for Simons, you definitely have upside. I mean, some of these cheap pieces, if you wait on news and you just don't know, like they could sit this last week. You don't know. Maybe they sit Nurkic at the last second or something. And all of a sudden Canner becomes one of the best plays on the slate. Stuff like that will happen this week. I promise you. So if you sit and wait for news, maybe you fall into it. I'm Mike Title. I'm going to play these early guys like I've pretty much done all year. But don't make no mistake about it. You can gain an edge if you wait on these news. The Utah game is a close spread. No one's going to stack that game up. You can fall into something in tournaments where you fade some of the early stuff. Even Westbrook, this is just tournaments where just go with a completely different roster construction and play Clarkson at 77 and Steph and Draymond and some of these cheap guys from Portland. And, it doesn't sound smart on paper. You're fading some of the best plays. But what happens when the Washington game totally blows out and Westbrook only gets 54? All of a sudden, the slate opens up. There's tons of busts out there, and you got low-owned guys all over the board in the late game that you're just going to skyrocket up. That's how I play tournaments. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I wouldn't fault you at all for backloading.
Yeah, I mean, these games are 10 p.m. Eastern. It's 2.5 hours after the slate locks. We have a ton of good plays up front, so a lot of people will be just going ahead and locking in those early plays. And, we endorse those plays. We stand behind them. We like those guys too, but, to be different, you might want to look to backload here a little bit.
Don't ever get pigeonholed into it, right? Like, just because everyone's doing something, don't be afraid to do something different. Like, me and Hoop talked about it in the Showdowns all year. Like, what's your goal with DFS? What's your goal with playing tonight? Do you want to try to win a tournament? By doing that, to give yourself an optimal situation, you might have to make a terrible roster, which sounds bad on paper. But all of a sudden, how many nights have we seen it where these early games blow out on a 6-game slate, and all of a sudden you're just sitting on the total nuts, and you just love that you did that.
Absolutely. And it certainly could happen tonight. A lot of uncertainty in the NBA all week, honestly, until the playoffs start. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty and high variance. I mean, NBA, not the highest variance sport. You can kind of project it out this week. Going to be the highest variance that we've seen most likely all season long. So another reason to kind of, do things a little bit differently. All right. We have JSU and Holden taking you guys up to lock. I believe they're starting in, 30 minutes, 6:45 Eastern. So if you're not a member yet, head on over to runpuresports.com. Promo is RPS Heater 25. Gets you 25% off your first payment on a monthly package over here at Run Pure Sports. Let's go into the plays of the day. We're going to go to our boy Title with the SO play of the day. Who do you got for us?
I knew this one right from the start of the show. We started talking about it. It's in that Washington game, which is my favorite, but it's Rui Hachimura, 4.9K. I think people are going to go Westbrook. They're going to go Ish Smith or Neto or stuff like that. And I think he gets overlooked because his recent production hasn't been that great. Coming off the injury, he's been back, getting his feet under him, getting his legs under him, as Big T like to say a little bit. 34 minutes last game. If he gets 35 minutes in this matchup, no deal. He'll absolutely smash it. So he's not a 5%er, but he's not going to be 35. So give me Rui Hachimura for the SO play of the day.
Gonna be hard to pick a low owned guy tonight because these good plays are pretty cheap. I am sticking with for the 4X play of the day. So the 4X play of the day, I'm sticking with that Washington team. I'm going with Raul Neto, 4.5K on DK. I really like him. I think the minutes will be up there. He's had some ceiling games this year. He's showing the upside. He can knock down threes. Give me Neto for 4.5K for the 4X play of the day. Lastly, we have the infamous workbench play of the day from our boy Big T. Who do you got for us?
So I get excited about slates like this because I can play a guy that no one's going to play. That I think this is one of my strengths, finding a guy total narrative based. He could totally suck for us, but I'm going to play him, and I feel good about it, honestly, and no one's going to play him. But Anderson Varejao, I talked it up a little bit during the part. I think he's like a vintage Cavs guy that they loved him in Cleveland. I don't know how long he played there, but 7-8 years he played in Cleveland. He actually played a big part in them winning the title too when he played for Golden State, because Golden State, for some reason, played him a bunch in that series, and that helped Cleveland. But they love him in Cleveland. I could see them using this last week to give him some run. I mean, he played, 16 minutes last night with decent amount more bodies in there. I could see him getting in the 20s tonight minutes-wise for 3K. Everyone's going to play Cabangali or whatever his name is. I think you can play them both at 3K. Load some studs in there. Give me both of the Cleveland guys for $3K, but Varejao is the official workbench play.
Love that, man. Varejao back in our lives.
I don't
Where's
think
he been?
that much
Has he been
risk in it
playing?
either. What?
Has he been playing anywhere?
I'm sure he's been playing somewhere. I don't know though.
Yeah, overseas or something. How old is he? He's got to be what, 30s, mid 30s?
Yeah, I'm about to look. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Let's just check it out. Well,
38.
38. Yeah, so he's older than Big T and myself.
I think it's a great pivot. If you play Anderson Varejao, I think you pivot off of Dean Wade, who's going to be one of the most chalky on the slate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the leverage that you're getting for doing it.
I might just get the leverage by playing all three of those cheap Cavs guys.
Or that, yeah, you'll get leverage
I just
regardless.
love those three. You're telling me I can play Dean Wade's for sure going to play. Cabin Gale, I think's for sure going to play in the 20s, and Varejao, I think, is going to play in the 20s. For 9.4K, I can play three guys, and it really goes with the roster construction of Curry Westbrook too, where you're using your forwards and a center on these cheap guys, which is nice roster construction wise, I think, and it really lets you play Curry and Westbrook, which I want.
Absolutely love it. I think we're onto something here. I think that you all should head on over to Rumpier Sports. We'll have the cores up very soon. Baseball cores, Big T, your baseball core up yet?
Yeah, it was up early today. I was the first one on the sheet. Everyone always calls me out. I was the first one on the sheet, and they were making fun of my pitcher today too. I'm not going to say who it was, but they were making fun of it. I like when people make fun of me. It makes me feel good.
Got about 15 minutes to get on over there and check out the cores for baseball. Locks in 15 minutes. We'll have our NBA cores up. We'll have the cash chart update. We'll have the playbook updated. Good time to become a member over here at Rumpier Sports. Get all the sports, one low price. The promo code RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off that first monthly payment. We're going to clear the way here for JSU and Holden. So for Titletown, for Big T, I'm Hoop. Good luck tonight in your contest.
Good luck, everybody.